Okay, so I think this is going to be my base for the whole thing. This is a 2-foot board. I did 6 ounces. I have about 1.5 ounces of Purplu, about 1.5 ounces of Cotton Candy Color Shift, of Calypso Color Shift, and then 2 ounces of, it can't be that one. Is it that one? No, it's this one over here. 2 ounces of Translucent Ocean, which kind of looks like Listerine. So, oops, you need the color of that one, don't you? Can you see that? Kind of looks like Listerine. So, just finishing stirring this up. Oh, and then I have about what is that, like 10 cc's of Black Magic. So I've got that for doing some painting. How about gloves? Gloves would be good. So this is going to be the baseboard. Now, what I want to do is I want to set this out in a complete random pattern. And I'm going to do Listerine first because this is what is giving the color shift its extra color shift. I got a black base, by the way, which you can see there. So, just random. I don't want any puddling. I don't really want anything major that screams, this is where you will find this. Just want randomness. And all of that can just go on the board because we're not going to use any accents on that later. It's just kind of a help spread it around kind of base coat. Go there. Next one I'm going to do is the Purplu, which is the, can you see the consistency on that? Let's do this one more time. So it's not quite covering the paddle. I think on finish run, I'll probably go a little bit more so that I do have that, but I want to make sure I have enough for my finish. So again, same randomness. You saw how random I poured that? Here we go again, just random. This is what gives the color shift something to play off of. So we want it random, and you got to be careful to not drop too much on the beginning so that you have enough to get to the end. Otherwise, it'll be an even more weird pattern. This is self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about it too much, but we want to make sure and get it out random. Again, don't bother saving any of the Purplu. Actually, we might not save any on this one. It doesn't matter which color shift I've grabbed. I don't even know which one I've got, actually. Actually, I think this one is Calypso. Same thing you did with the other two. We are just randoming this out. And I'm going to start over on this end just because I already got heavy over here because I did exactly what I just told you not to do. And what we're trying to do here is fill in some of these spaces. And you want all of the color shifts to play off each other. So I want to make sure that there's some of everything on every portion of the board. You know what, I'm just going to dump all of these and not worry about having any for any accent areas later, because this is just going to be a carrier. It's just the foundation. I say just the foundation, but you know what I mean. You can't really see that. You see how that's beginning to already play? That's what we want. You can see reflections over here. You can see more. You can see reflections of where things are. Now, Again, because I'm heavy-handed too, and I'm warning you not to do it. I got too heavy over here with that one, so I'm going to start on this side with this one. I need completely random because I want them to play off each other, and I want, there are different colors of purple in here, so I want them to, I want every inch to have each one of the purples. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and you're going to dump on top of things. You're going to fill holes. It doesn't really matter. I want you everywhere on this board, and we're going to start meshing it together in a minute. But we only have 6 ounces to do this whole 2 feet. So that is 3 ounces per square foot. And that's the same ratio you're going to get on the bigger boards. So on this last one, I'm going a little bit slower because I just want to make sure that I am everywhere. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Dump this randomly over here. And I'm just scraping it off on the side just to use every last bit of it because that's the way I are. Okay, so I'm going to tip this up so you can see it. I'm not going to really let it run. But you see the kind of randomness I got going here? Every color, fine. Wow, just even that changed its color. How crazy. Okay, so a couple ways we can handle this. We can either meld it with our hands or we can meld it with a board of some sort. Had I cleaned this like I was supposed to? But I didn't. So I've got clean ones that I'll bring next time, but these are harder cardboard. These are actually Bondo spreaders, so they're a little bit firmer than what this is, which is just a piece of cardboard that I have cut and have used a few times, so it's got epoxy all over it. We're not using the Black Magic yet. And I am going to come make sure, no I'm not, no I'm not. Quick torch, this is for bubbles. If I tell you to torch, that's all you do. You can burn it, so don't over torch it, but all you're doing is running it quickly to pop bubbles. And I messed that up, so let's put this here. All right, so card. What I want to do is I want to drag and twist because I want the colors to meld but not stir so that they get blended. If they get too blended, you won't have the differences, which is what makes this so cool. So the other thing is the turquoise looks black on this board, and we'll have better light when we work, but the turquoise looks black, and so you don't want to over mix the turquoise because I don't want it to be heavy turquoise. It's a see-through color and it's to help the light reflect. It's not, I want turquoise. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, ask me now. Okay, so, oh, I want to get the edges so bad. I'm going to get the edges. Why, you ask? Because I'm anal like that. If you don't know that, you don't love me, so there you go. Pro tip or something. So a couple things we're doing right now. We're just getting the edges so that the design goes everywhere. You can sit here and play with the little holes. I'm not sure it's worth your time. It's really kind of not. It is in some designs, not this one. We're just making sure because it's got to go all the way to the edges. Ooh, I'll probably give you a little extra now that I think about it. Because when we're doing the final, we need to have it banked on the edge that rounds over. Because if we don't bank it, when it's thick enough to roll, there'll be nothing to roll, and then it won't look the right color for us. Matter of fact, I need to think about what I'm going to do for those edges. I might have to pre-paint those edges a little bit. Okay. Sorry, that was me just being anal, I guess. All right, so we're going to go in the color and pull and twist and pull and twist. And I do not want a specific design. So when you pull and twist and you go, ooh, wow, I'm dragging a lot of product, stop dragging the product, pick it up and go in a different order, a different design, and then make sure you keep the product, the drippy product on the board, because we only have 3 ounces per square foot, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. So all I'm doing is melding these colors, kind of brushing them together so that they flow into each other. I am not doing a mix. I'm not blending them. I do not want them blended. I want every area to be a little bit different. That's how you get the texture. That's how you get the excess lines. That's what we want. Some of these areas are turning more turquoise than I prefer them to be. That's okay, as long as the whole board is not turquoise. And what I'm seeing, I'm just off camera, so I don't think you see it, but I've got some pockets where I'm just breaking the tension and stopping them from being an air hole, because air holes make a mess. I'll pop bubbles in a second, but I'm really talking more right now about the areas that are thicker holes that have tension, as opposed to just a bubble that needed to pop. All right, so that right there is pretty much all we're doing. Turn around, grab a torch. See, quick torching. Okay, what are we doing here? When we popped those bubbles, we had some pretty big bubbles because of the way we put the product on. So I'm going back and making sure to keep the tension out of those so the water all flows. Water, epoxy. Things we can do if there are more people here, and by more I mean not just me, then we can tip the board. I like super tilts, so I'll show you what that means. This is a super tilt. Wait for it to flow. Let it get down in the areas. Be careful it doesn't all drip off the board, because it can. God, that's so freaking cool. So all we're doing is tipping it around to make sure that the epoxy moves. Ouch, that itches. Okay, I'm gonna tip this real quick just so you can see it. See? Now, right here, there was a big blank space. That is actually turquoise, and some of that is okay. Over here, and I'll tip it again in a second, over here you see more color and line with the turquoise. That is also good because that gives depth, and that's what we want. Here's a quick tip. Look in this area right here. You see that? You see how much that changes and shifts? That's exactly what we want. All right then. They're working on the chimney right now. I just heard a whole bunch of things fall down the chimney. Something tells me that when I open that chimney up, I'm gonna have to clean some stuff up. Oh, I am happy with this. I'm really happy with this. So, next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna torch this again. You do more than what I just did and you will burn it. Don't do that. I'm not gonna show you right now because I'm gonna wait a little while to do this, but some of these lines where there's the turquoise, I'm gonna take the black magic and I'm gonna get a drippy run. I'm gonna start the run off the board and I'm gonna run in a pattern, and you'll see that later, where you see a holographic line. That's what I want this to look like there. Okay, that is actually the end of this board. There you go.